welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow, India's only daily television platform for small businesses. We bring you the right information to empower you, the SME entrepreneur. Tonight on the show, our first influencer conversation is with Plus. On the other side of a break, we're putting the spotlight on Baby Mubarak and Pumpcart. Our first influencer conversation tonight is with a leader in its industry, Plus, which works in the cooling solutions as far as the temperature control industry is concerned. I spoke with Pooja Jain, the MD of the company, to understand how they're making a name for themselves, both in India as well as globally, and some trends that he can give our viewers on this industry. Take a listen. Good having you here on the show, Mr. Jain. I want to kick off today's conversation by talking about the fact that I understand you have nearly 2 decades plus experience when it comes to the domestic specialty chemicals market. What has that been like, growing your brand in a very specialized technical market and becoming one of the largest players, one of the most recognized brands really in that space? What's that been like?
Thank you, Sunanda. It's a pleasure to be here. We have been focusing on specialty chemicals for innovative applications for the last 2 decades. And we realized that to get the country to really adopt these and create new products was a challenge. And so we integrated into products. And we chose a couple of fields where the products could make a lot of difference. With the aim of creating technology for a better world, we chose the field of food wastage, we chose neonatal deaths, we chose temperature control in the cooling industry, and we chose energy efficiency. So we took these around with our chemicals and we created end products which could help address these problems, and that is what really helped us to get Plus known as a known name across consumers as well as businesses.
You were talking about cooling, and let's talk about the temperature control market. Reports suggesting that the global phase change material for temperature control market expected to grow at a CAGR of nearly 15% till 2024. First up, what does it even mean? Highly technical, if you can just help me first of all understand what that means, and also what really is the kind of expectation from that growth? How are you managing that growth? What's really the view on that?
Yes, with the increased awareness in the consumer's mindset, we think that this temperature control market is going to grow. You see a lot of home deliveries happening, for example, but are they happening at the right temperature? Is your milk getting to you at the right temperature, or are your frozen foods getting to you at the right temperature? So that's a big challenge in India, especially given that we are a tropical country. So we are expecting this market to grow a lot, and that's where our chemicals will play a major role. The government is also under a lot of pressure, for example, to look at how can they double farmers' income. And the only way to do that really is if the farmer's product gets to the market in the right condition. Or can the farmer store his product at the farm level at the right temperatures and extend the life? So temperature control is going to grow drastically in India. Talking about farmers, you can actually also enable the farmer to create value-added products. If you look at drying, food drying, that's a temperature control. So can I do it in a more efficient way? Can I store sun's energy during the daytime and use it at night and still dry my products? So that's exactly what we are trying to do through these phase change materials. So these are materials that can store the heat or store the cold, and then you can use it at a later point of time. Buildings is the same case. So I need hot temperatures in Ladakh, and I probably need cool temperatures down south or in the middle of the country. So how do I do that? By storing the heat or storing the cold. And therefore, I anticipate that the 15% figure that you just mentioned is definitely going to happen, and the industry is really going to grow at a fast rate.
So as a continuation of that, even as we're talking about what the demands really are of the market when it comes to, the energy requirements really for cooling, as someone who's been in this business for as long as you have, just your viewpoint in terms of both the short as well as maybe the midterm, maybe, about 5 odd years in terms of what the future is looking like for the industry. Just give us that sense of how, as a market leader, you're expecting this will pan out over the next 4 to 5 years.
So the domestic market is, I think, also going to become more educated about the need for temperature control. If I look up another example, for example, we are seeing the electric vehicle market surging in a big way, or we anticipate that the electric vehicles are going to kind of dominate the scene in the next 4 to 5 years. And when you look at the biggest challenge that the EV space is facing, it's really the temperature control of the lithium-ion battery. So how do we do that? And that's where these specialty chemicals will play a role. If you look at the way the consumer is demanding deliveries at the doorstep, which I just mentioned, temperature control is going to play a role. So that's how the domestic market is going to get affected. It's going to demand from the suppliers, from the industry, products at the right temperature, products which have not gone bad, and therefore we anticipate that these markets are really going to kind of pick up in India. While they are already mature in the US and Europe, in India, I think there is a lot of scope for temperature control to play a big role across verticals, across sectors that we are targeting.
So what are some of then the biggest challenges possibly that you're expecting that this market is going to face?
So the major challenges that I see is, one is policies. The policies need to change to enable the industry as well as the end consumer to adopt newer technologies. For example, to make it a little easier for you to understand, let's take the example of a building. We have so much of air conditioning that is happening in every mall or every large corporate office that is coming. We are talking of thousands of tons of air conditioning. And if every building in India was to become air conditioned, we know what's the effect going to be. Will we have so much of electricity available? So we need newer ways of storing this energy and to cool the building, and that's where our materials will play a role. So if it's cold at night, it's at 25 degrees, that's the temperature I need to store. So can I store that 25-degree temperature which is available in Rajasthan at night and use it during the daytime when the temperature is 35? So that's precisely what we are seeing that will happen, and it will happen only if the policies encourage it. If the policy demands that people start consuming less energy per square foot or per square meter of built up area, it's going to help in providing energy access to everybody. We look at distributed renewable energy, for example. How do I get to the farmer where while we talk of every village being electrified, it's going to still take a lot of time till every village actually gets a lot of energy and electricity to be able to keep their harvest or their produce under the right temperature. So can I store the heat during the daytime and use that to generate cold at night? That's where we are stepping in, and we think policies will be the biggest mover in terms of trying to adopt these technologies. If I look at threats, it's essentially the initial capital cost which the user needs to bear, and that is going to be a factor which will prevent people from immediately adopting these technologies. However, the payback period for temperature control technologies like ours is varying between 2 to 4 years, and therefore it's not too much to invest either. So the mindset change in people that initially there could be a higher capital cost, but you're going to recover in the long run and consume less energy and save money, would definitely see these technologies getting adopted.
Okay, I'm going to let you go with one last question then. What expansion plans can you share with us, both globally as well as on the domestic front? And what sense can you give us about how you're going to fund those expansion plans?
We are actively looking at the European market. They are struggling hard to increase their, making their buildings more energy efficient, to kind of reduce their energy consumptions, meet the requirements of the Kyoto Protocol, the Kigali Protocol, the Paris Climate Change Accord. So these countries in Europe are looking at energy efficiency at the next level, and they also have policies in place. So we are going to be opening our office, a subsidiary in Europe very soon, maybe by the end of this month, and we would definitely be expanding into that geography. We are also looking at Southeast Asia, and we are looking at US markets too over the next couple of months through strategic tie-ups, through strategic partnerships, and white label manufacturing also. In terms of funding, we are looking at raising both debt and equity to try and fund this growth. We have been very conscious. Our first round of funding happened with Tata Capital Innovations Fund about 5 to 6 years back. That money allowed us to create all these products, file patents, prove market traction, and grow. And with the next round of funding, we are looking at expanding our across geographies and expanding our team and production manufacturing facilities.
All right. Good having you here on the show tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We're going to take a very quick break on that note. On the other side, two Chandigarh-based companies in focus. First up, Baby Mubarak. The other one is Pumpcart. What are these companies doing? More when we come back. Just stay tuned. The baby products market is highly commoditized, and every company that is in this space is trying to ensure that they're offering something innovative. Tonight, the focus is on one such company based out of Chandigarh, Baby Mubarak, which ensures it's using pure cotton and hand-knitted fabrics for the ultimate comfort for babies. Pooja Jain has more on this company.
Our understanding is that Baby Mubarak makes handmade products specifically for infants, be it clothing, accessories, footwear, and the list goes on. But what distinguishes it from the sea of other players in this space, be it global or local?
Baby Mubarak is the only brand in India who's retailing handmade clothes and accessories for newborn babies. If you talk handmade, there is no other brand in India who would basically make handmade clothes or accessories in any art, be it crochet, knitting. You won't find that being retailed anywhere. The market right now in the baby sector is Chinese, right? So why we wanted to get into this business is because we wanted to create something Indian for our babies, which is like 100% handmade, 100% smoke-free, pet-free. The products are really smooth on the skin. We are also the only brand in India who's hand making in clothes made out of cotton thread. We're the only brand who has been able to retail like hundreds of products altogether.
So is Baby Mubarak purely an online play, or is there a brick and mortar presence to the company?
Yes, we did have a brick and mortar presence, but now we've closed the showroom. The showroom is closed because we want to take it international, and that is only possible if we try and do it online exclusively. So there was a beautiful story happening at the showroom for over a year, where so the showroom was inside a maternity hospital, and we were doing quite well. We specialize, so as a brand, like Baby Mubarak specializes in handmade products for premature babies as well. So you wouldn't get a size as small as your like your index finger in the market. So if you go and ask for a baby size, like a newborn baby size, you would get a size which is of 3 months. Sure. So apart from also making clothes for newborn babies, we specialize in premature babies as well. So if Baby Mubarak had a lot of people coming in from the Tri-City, where they would be like really exasperated. Like we couldn't find anything as small as like for a baby, like who's premature, and they would find it there. So a lot of hospitals started recommending us. So go to Baby Mubarak's showroom at this maternity hospital, and you would find clothes like really tiny. So yeah, I mean we held a lot of importance. We held a lot of importance in the Tri-City for premature babies, for handmade products. But then we realized we are like we won't be able to expand if we also take care of the showroom and the online presence. So we took it online completely after a year. And now in July, we are going India and international.
Baby Mubarak has received so much recognition for economically empowering women from neighboring tribal and rural communities. How so?
When I started off, I wanted to create some handmade products. Where I live, it's a farmhouse in a village. So I just approached 2-3 women who were like staying nearby, and I had like completely different, like crazy ideas for them to knit. But then they were like, we are very used to making very traditional clothing, like just a sweater or a pajama. What is this? It was like it was a pig shoe that we wanted to create, like a pig-faced shoe. So they were like, no, we can't do that. So I pestered them completely, like to try do something. All the women that I have right now working for me, it's a mandate that they should have WhatsApp on their phones. So how we started was with just 2-3 women. I found a lot of women all over India who were ready to do it because there was no investment needed. You don't need anything. Like, even the raw material was supplied by me. So they were quite comfortable doing that. So there are not only rural women, there are women in metro cities who work for me, who are in IT companies. They're working, they have proper jobs.
With over 200 products and over 10 lakh happy customers pan-India, what's next for the Baby Mubarak brand?
Baby Mubarak is now going to go international, and that's what my whole, like how I plan Baby Mubarak's future is. By the end of this year, there will be at least 2 or 3 countries where Baby Mubarak's products will be there, like they will be bought. But if you talk about the short-term plan, it's like we want to go international by the end of this year, and at least by July we'll start off doing something in Belgium and New York.
Well, all the best to you. Thank you so much for your time. We wish you continued success.
Thank you.
From that Chandigarh-based company to another one, and the focus tonight is on Pumpcart, which is in the e-commerce space as far as the B2B model of water pumps is concerned. Mr. Bhatia, good having you joining us. I understand you were set up about 5 years ago in 2014, and you were very clear that the model as far as the online market for water pumps was the space that you wanted to focus on, when most of your peers are looking at the offline market. So maybe that's a good place to start for you to tell us why you are so keen and convinced really on the online model and the online space really for your industry.
Before I tell you about the Pumpcart, I just want to tell my journey also, how I started my journey. I tried to enter into e-commerce. My first startup got failed. Then I tried second also got failed. So third, we started the Pumpcart because I wanted to be into my same business which I'm doing for the last 18 years. So we started selling the water pumps. We were not knowing that we are the only player in the world. We brought 700 manufacturers on board in a span of 1 year. You might be knowing there are 8 players, 10 players. There are hardly 50 big players are there in the country, regional or national brands. But we brought 700 brands on the board. And this story has gone to Google CEO also, that somebody is organizing a very unorganized sector. So my name has been mentioned by him when the Prime Minister of India had gone to US first time. So then we came into limelight. We thought now we should go ahead and we changed the business model to B2B, and we thought we should go with our label brand in the market. We brought 2 brands in the market and we faced difficulty to sell it because nobody was believing it. But somehow we could able to convince Kapil Dev on board. He turned up, and within 6 months we changed everything. We made one of the brand, big brand. We started selling it.
Okay, fair enough. You're equally excited, I understand, about the home and kitchen appliances space. How is that set to grow? What's the sort of outlook there? What are you doing in that space?
We have brought 7,000 retailers on board, and pump business was very seasonal business. When we meeting the investors and other people, they were not convinced because they feel it's a $2 billion company and it's a very seasonal business. So they were not believing that we can make this company big. As we are entering into, initially we thought we'll go with appliances. As we thought we go with appliances, we thought we have already retailers from electronics, electrical market. Why not to bring those category also on board? So we are bringing these category also on board. And as I told you, I'm dealing with the industry since last 18 years. So I wanted to bring other category for industry also. We don't feel anybody in the country who is into the B2B e-commerce, they are not dealing both with the industry as well as the retailers. In fact, we are the first player in the country who's dealing with both with the retail market as well as the industry.
But I'm curious to understand why you decided to venture into this new market, particularly at a time when you've made quite a name for yourself when it comes to the online water pump market. Why did you decide that you wanted to look at this new vertical or this new line of products as well?
There are hardly few startups from the region I heard. And I want to honestly tell you, there are no good brand from my state. I heard listening from the people, from the government itself. They always say to me, P for Punjab, P for Pumpcart. So that is the aim, that is the vision now. We were working in the $2 billion pump market. Now we are working with 80 to 90 billion dollar appliances. Then electronics is 30 to 40 billion dollars. Then industry supply is 150 billion dollars. I think we are dreaming big now. We have to dream big if we make a big brand from the region.
There's strong competition in this space. I understand Flipkart, Amazon, etc. also offer products which are very similar when it comes to this industry. How does that sort of play out for you? What's your view on competition, particularly from large players like a Flipkart or an Amazon?
The market which we are touching is appliances. They are just able to capture 1% of that, the total. Still 99% of the offline, because here the customer is looking for touch and feel. And total e-retail is 5%. Still 95% is offline. And B2B is a far bigger market than B2C.
You are entirely in, at least when you started, you were entirely in the B2B space, and you've launched a B2B app as well. Just give us a little more information on that.
We just launched the B2B app, and our focus is to capture both the retailers as well as industry. See, retailers is not used to to use the app and place the order through app. If we can sell the pumps to them through app, through website, why not to sell other things also? That was the reason we brought a lot of other categories also.
Okay, my last question to you then is what next? What are you excited about that you can give sort of a sneak peek to our viewers on?
Pumpcart always thought differently. We want to make Punjab proud. We make the people of the Punjab proud.
All right, we're going to leave it at that. Thanks for your time here on the show. That completely wraps up this episode of the Leaders of Tomorrow. If you have any feedback for us, do let us know. leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com is our email ID. On social media, get in touch with us. Leaders on social media, get in touch with us on Twitter, Sanand_Jain, LOT_ET Now, and Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now on Facebook. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.